Wild Turkey Longbranch. That's what we're going to review today. We're going to pop this open. All I've done to it so far is taken the plastic off and given a quick preview to myself by sniffing in the bottle. This stuff smells amazing, by the way, so far. We're going to taste this up. We're going to do it on the rocks, and then we're going to make a Manhattan out of it because I love Manhattans. That's my go-to cocktail. I feel like I've made this too complicated for no reason. Why should I be tasting it neat and then on the rocks and then with some water and then with water and rocks and then a cocktail? Like I'm just going overboard. I'm making it too hard. So we're cutting back to just 2 tastings. Just a quick reminder before we continue on that we post cooking demos on Tuesdays, cooking reaction videos on Sundays, and right now for a limited time we are doing these whiskey reviews on Fridays. Before we get into this, do we have any cool facts? Well, Longbranch is a collaboration between Wild Turkey and it said Matthew McConaughey. Now I didn't go too deep into the research there because I thought this could be a place where you help me out. Is this Matthew McConaughey the actor, or is there just a world-renowned whiskey expert with the same name? I don't know, but I'd like to assume it's the actor. Matthew McConaughey does have that deep, southern voice that he portrays in his movies, like A Time to Kill. Also like him in Lincoln Lawyer. He's been a lawyer a few times. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Matthew McConaughey movie. So we're gonna pour this up. We're gonna take a whiff off the nose. We're gonna give it a taste, and we're gonna make a Manhattan. Then I'll give you my opinions at the end. Alright, on the nose. So the tasting notes that I pre-read told me caramel, vanilla, and toffee. Nutmeg and oak. I'm definitely getting the vanilla and the toffee, but the caramel, I'm not getting that. I'm getting a very light heat on the finish. This is definitely a smooth whiskey. Now, the tasting notes also told me I should expect honey, orange, and I hate when people throw out spice. You should taste spice. Well, curry is a spice, and so is nutmeg, and those are 2 wildly different ends of the spice spectrum. So what the fuck are we talking about when it comes to spice? I think what they're saying is spice, maybe they just want to say is black pepper. The orange, I definitely get a more sophisticated orange, more like an orange peel or an orange zest. I'm not getting orange fruit, like the fleshy part of the fruit. And the honey notes, they're there, they're mild. I got no complaints on this. You know what? It's really smooth, and it's not a hard punch of flavor. It's more nuanced. It's gonna make you work for that flavor to, like, I'm really sucking in a lot of air. I'm being a little exaggerated because I am trying to get as much air to mix in my mouth to try and find all the flavors. I don't want it to come off like I'm saying it drinks like water. It's definitely a lot better than that Templeton rye we had last week, or 2 weeks ago by the time this airs. So, On the rocks. That's something special. That's definitely like a 9.5 out of 10. I'm still gonna do a little scoring though. So let's move on to making a Manhattan. Okay, we've got a glass of ice. Like I've said before, if anybody can recommend a better vermouth than this, let me know. Oh, the floral bouquet really opens up. I know that that's coming off of the sweet vermouth, but I feel like I walked into like the florist section of a grocery store or something. Not a cheap grocery store either, but like, you know, the grocery store across town on the other side of the tracks. Yeah, that's just a very clean Manhattan. I can pull the bitters. That flavor's there. The whiskey is doing a pretty good job. You know, this is definitely, you know, if you're only gonna have one whiskey, this is the kind of whiskey you want to have if you're gonna have one bourbon, because this bourbon drinks very well on the rocks, and it also drinks very well as a cocktail. I can definitely hold it in my mouth too. Although this is 43% alcohol by volume or 86 proof. It's got the same kind of alcoholic heat or bite as like a glass of wine almost. So if you really do prefer to get punched in the face by bourbon and know you're drinking and have that, you know, I just got divorced, my wife left me, I need to punish myself with a bottle of bourbon, this isn't the one for you. Because, you know, that is more of like a Knob Creek kind of night where you want to feel every single bit of that. This, on the other hand, is definitely, you know, I'm not going to say it's refreshing like the Woodford Reserve that we started out with this season. That Woodford Reserve was had some refreshing qualities to it where you could definitely have that, you know, in a light cocktail like this after mowing the lawn or something. I would say you could almost use this in the same sense, but I wouldn't want to go back to do anything after this other than sit down in my lounge chair, have a second one, and maybe light up a cigar. I gave you my detailed opinion on it on the rocks, as a Manhattan, inside of a cocktail. It does it justice, and I quite like that. This too has the danger of becoming a full-time product in my bar back here. So, not really sure how Mrs. James is going to appreciate, because part of when you taste whiskeys is you have to go out and buy new ones. But then when you find favorites, it's almost like you're double shopping now. As a Manhattan, I would give that. You know what? I'm gonna pull up my scorecard here. I have one printed off. And I'm trying to think, because as my tastes have evolved, I look at some of these numbers and I think there's no way it should be that low or there's no way it should be that high. But by comparing this to my previous favorite, which was the Canadian Club 100% rye, and I remember that being special, but I'm biased towards that as a Canadian. I know you Americans don't really like Canadian rye. I also would give that 8.5. 8.5 out of 10 as a whiskey. Well, I feel like I've rambled on long enough. So, what does all of this mean? This means that if you haven't tried this, I would strongly recommend buying it. Give it a shot. If you have tried it and you disagree with me, let me know down below. If you've tried it and you've agreed with me, well, still let me know down below. It just backs up my opinion. Don't forget to come back to this channel on Tuesdays if you're interested in cooking demos, or Sundays if you're interested in cooking video reviews. I've been James MacInnis, and thanks for coming down to my bar. Cut. Action 3. Second take. Exit. Action 3, 2, 1. Action.